every day as if it were the last, because before you know it, time goes past and life's just not that long. Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high. And when it's said,
I love exercise, and I do a lot of exercise. But exercise by itself, exercise alone, is not enough to be healthy. We need to eat only healthy food, preferably raw plant foods. Jim Fixx, F-I-X-S, F-I-X-X, there we go, wrote one of the most popular books on exercise called The Complete Book of Running. It was on bestseller lists for almost 2 years in the late 1970s. Until his mid-30s, Jim Fixx smoked 2 packs of cigarettes, weighed 220 pounds. Two packs of cigarettes a day weighed 220 pounds. But at 35, he stopped smoking, and soon he was running 80 miles a week, including marathons. He lost all of his fat, but sadly, he did not change what he ate. In his book, Jim Fixx quoted a doctor who said any non-smoker fit enough to run a marathon in less than 4 hours would never suffer a fatal heart attack. That was bullshit. Jim Fixx's father had died at 43 from a heart attack, but Jim Fixx believed that running every day, not smoking, would protect him. But Jim Fixx, the nation's leading advocate on the health benefits of running, tragically died of a massive heart attack while running. He was only 52. 3 of his coronary arteries were more than 70% blocked. 1 was 99% blocked. Exercise is wonderful. I love it. We need it. But it's not enough to be healthy. It cannot make up for eating unhealthy crap. We need vigorous exercise, and we need only healthy plant foods, preferably all raw. I stopped eating cooked food December 12th, 1998. I wish I had eaten only raw plant foods all my life. I certainly might have had more of my teeth left, but because in my teens and in my 20s, well, as a kid all the way through, I was severely addicted to sugar shit, ice cream, cake, cookies, candy. I have 1 tooth left. Learn from my foolish mistake. Some of my favorite music in this world. Now, I want to say, I do not believe or agree with some of the words of these songs, but I love the music. I love the deep feelings. I love to dance to any of them. Volver, Volver, Danny Boy, De Colores, Live Every Day, Stand By Me, Puño de Tierra, Neon Moon, Save the Last Dance for Me, Someday We'll Be Together, Blue Bayou, Before the Next Teardrop Falls, As I say, I do not believe or agree with some of the words of these songs, but I love the music, the deep feelings. Are you lonesome tonight? Love me tender. The lights of Albuquerque. I will survive. I love the nightlife. In the ghetto. It's now or never. Crazy. Precious Lord, take my hand. Amazing grace. Help me make it through the night. Suspicious minds. The city of New Orleans. If I can dream, he was a friend of mine. Bridged over troubled water. Lean on me. Some of my favorite music. A woman wrote, I was never close to my mother-in-law, Agnes. She always came across as very religious and morally upright. She recently died of dementia. It came on so fast that there were things Agnes needed to take care of, but was unable to. The woman says, my husband was executor of her estate, so we had to go through all of her things and have them appraised after she passed. One afternoon, my husband discovered a small binder tucked in the back of his mother's lingerie drawer. He looked through it, and to say he was shaken would be an understatement. He let me read it. Apparently, his parents enjoyed wife swapping, and Agnes took notes detailing her activities. You know, sadly, the secrets people carry because they're afraid of rejection. I choose to live openly. Why cover up? And often the people who seem most religious and sexually uptight are living a lie to most people who know them. A powerful study involves 3 groups of rats. The first group of rats were fed from birth diets of raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw nuts, raw whole grains. They grew into completely healthy specimens, never suffered from any diseases. These rats grew rapidly. They never became fat. They reproduced with vigor and enthusiasm. They had healthy offspring, always playful and affectionate. And upon reaching an age equivalent to 80 human years, they were put to death and autopsied. Now, I don't necessarily approve of killing them just to find out about their health, but it was done, and we can learn from. All the organs, glands, and tissues appeared in perfect condition with no signs of aging or degeneration. But the second group of rats were fed from birth diets of cooked foods, including white bread, meat, milk, salt, soda, candy, cakes, vitamins, medicines, etc. And these rats became fat. They were afflicted by the very same diseases that afflict people now, including colds, fevers, pneumonia, poor eyesight, cataracts, heart disease, cancer, arthritis. And during the life cycle of this second group of rats, the rats were vicious, nervous, self-destructive. They had to be separated to keep them from killing each other. Their offspring were consistently ill and displayed the same bad behavior as their parents. And most of this second group died prematurely from diseases or various epidemics which swept through the rat colony. And autopsies performed on this group showed extensive degeneration in all the organs, the glands, the tissues of their bodies. The third group of rats were fed a diet identical to the second group. The cooked foods, white bread, meat, milk, salt, soda, candy, cakes, vitamins, medicines, until they reached an equivalent human age of 40 years. And they showed the same symptoms of bad health and self-destructive behavior as the second group. Colds, fevers, pneumonia, poor eyesight, cataracts, heart disease, arthritis, cancer. They were vicious, nervous, self-destructive, had to be separated to keep them from killing each other. But at the end of this time period, when they were equivalent to 40 human years in age, the rats were placed on a strict water fast for several days. And then they were fed the raw diet of the first group. Raw fruits, raw vegetables, raw nuts, raw whole grains. And this diet was alternated with periods of fasting. Within 1 month, their health, their behavior changed dramatically. They became affectionate, playful, never became ill. Autopsies performed after the equivalent of 80 human years showed this group had reversed its degenerative tissue damage. Yes, we can regenerate our bodies and health by changing to eating only raw, living plant foods. Cooked food is slow poison. Cooked food is dead. Never heat raw plant foods over 105 degrees. I stopped eating cooked food December 12th, 1998. If you're just coming out as a gay or bisexual or trans or non-binary person, do you know any straight friend you're quite sure will accept your being gay or bisexual or trans or non-binary? Tell that person. If you're living with your parents and you know they would reject you, you may need to wait until you move out to tell them. Search for gay, bi, and trans friends who will accept you for who you are. Search for straight friends who already have gay, bi, trans, non-binary friends. When our birth family rejects us for who we are, we need to form a new family, while still keeping our heart open if someday some of our birth family open their hearts to us. It can happen. Sometimes does happen. We need to keep our hearts open to the possibility, but certainly not hold our breath. When I told my friend Patty Quintana in the late 1970s that I'm gay, she told me she knew from the first day I met her in 1970. And when I told my friend Lupe Olalde in the late 1970s I am gay, he told me he knew from the first day I met him in 1969. I never had sex with any male until late 1976. Often friends know someone is gay or bi or trans years before that person knows or fully accepts who he or she or they are. For many people, television is the plug-in drug. Television can be as addicting as heroin. And many television shows are spiritual poison, violent or shallow, just a waste of time. Many years ago in Illinois, as a teen and into my 20s, I wasted many precious hours watching violent westerns, shallow comedies, money-mad game shows. I did watch some good programs: Oprah, Phil Donahue, Roots, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, The Sounder, good programs. Why does most television news concentrate on crimes of individuals, thefts, stabbings, shootings, instead of the much larger crimes of corporations and the U.S. government? Who pays for those TV newscasts? Who owns the major networks? Filthy rich corporations closely connected to the U.S. government. Corporations and the U.S. government poison the air, water, and soil of Mother Earth. Corporations and the U.S. government cause millions of birth deformities, cancers, damaged immune systems. Corporations and the U.S. government wage wars, crippling, making homeless, murdering, blinding millions of men, women, and kids. Corporations and the U.S. government rob poor multitudes worldwide of their labor, their resources, their land. So do we expect corporations and the U.S. government to tell us the full truth about their massive crimes against humanity? We are fools if we expect them to tell us the full truth. The more TV concentrates our fears and our attention on street crime and poor welfare cheats, the less attention to the much bigger crooks, corporations, and the U.S. government. Corporations receive far more welfare in tax dollars than poor people do. Corporations spend billions of dollars on television commercials, knowing that commercials convince many viewers to buy their products. So how can Hollywood producers of television and movie glamorized violence claim their programs, their movies, do not influence viewers to beat up, kill, steal, rape, imprison, and to support U.S. wars? Television shortens kids' attention spans and can cause learning problems. Television often teaches kids to solve problems by violence. Television causes many kids to have mood swings. If you have a television, I'm glad if you watch my program. But if you get rid of your television to live more simply and to have more time to do good things, I compliment you strongly. Many men who yell faggot at others have sex with men, or They want to, but they do not have the balls to say so. And some are terrified of their deep, hidden desire. Some make fun of, curse, threaten, beat up, even kill gays, lesbians, and bisexuals. Many live a double life. A gay white guy told me years ago that a married Chicano picked a fight with him. And later, the gay white guy, the married Chicano, were at the same party, and as the night wore on, they got it on. Not with fists, but in sex. And the married Chicano went home to his wife and came back to the gay white guy for more sex. And the gay white guy asked him, well, if you had these feelings for me, why did you pick a fight with me? And the married Chicano answered honestly, I could not let my friends know. Many, even most men who love sex are bi-curious about sex with men, even if they have never done it with a man. Until any man on earth can freely tell his family, his friends, he is attracted to certain men with no fear, no shame, no guilt, and until any woman on earth can freely tell her family, her friends, she is attracted to certain women with no fear, no shame, no guilt, our struggle for romantic freedom must continue. If you have a friend who insults or attacks gays, lesbians, bisexuals, trans people, non-binary people, tell them, you better stop persecuting those people, because some people may wonder, why are you barking so loud? What are you running from? What are you trying to hide? Why is this such a big deal to you? If you really want to eat healthy, live healthy, get rid of all the packaged, canned, bottled, slow poison shit, the processed crap in your house. If you're really serious. If you don't have it around, you can't eat it. If you get the urge. And get rid of all fast food, all factory fake foods containing added sugar, artificial sweeteners, processed vegetable oils, corn oil, soybean oil, peanut oil, etc. These oils often have been heated to high temperatures, hundreds of degrees, good stuff taken out from the original source, bad stuff added. Absolutely no sodas, no booze, no chips of any kind. It's crap if you want to be healthy. I have none of that shit in my one-room home. I've learned not to have many avocados at home. They're too tempting for me. Now, avocados are very nutritious. They're very delicious. I love them. And avocados have healthy fat. But too much fat, even raw, healthy plant fat, is not good. Occasionally now I eat one small avocado and never eat cooked fat, because cooked fat clogs up the blood, the arteries, the lymphatic system. Cooked fat often makes people fat. But eating only raw plant fats, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, nuts, can help lose body fat. because raw plant fats have enzymes that are killed by cooking the fat. Raw plant fats have enzymes which cause the body fat to be burned. So you stay lean and healthy. A man in California wrote, "I'm a 67-year-old retired medical doctor who happens to be gay. I felt controlled and trapped by my parents when I was younger. And over the years, I was counseled by 2 psychiatrists, 3 psychotherapists. And even after all that psychiatric help, I still felt great resentment toward my parents. However, after I moved to Los Angeles, I was fortunate enough to find a mentor. And one day, my mentor said something that forever cracked my shell of resentment and anger. He said, 'Armand, your parents behaved the way they did because they did not know any better.' I suddenly realized that both my parents had only 6th grade educations, and had they known better, they probably would have treated me differently. When I asked my mentor if I should forgive my parents, he said, 'You got it. You got it. You'll have to forgive them every time they come to mind.' And this man says, 'You know what? It took quite a while, but I persisted and it paid off. And finally, all my anger, my resentment went away. I cried tears of joy for my newfound freedom, my peace of mind. And then I actually began feeling love in my heart toward my parents. Softly, slowly, love heals.'" The black South African Desmond Tutu was a hero of conscience and bravery. For many years, he strongly protested publicly the brutal evil, the white supremacy government that tortured, jailed, murdered many black South Africans. And after democracy came in 1994 to South Africa, Desmond Tutu worked to bring healing, reconciliation between former enemies, the whites and blacks. He insisted the nation tell the truth and hear the truth about the massive, bloody, racist horrors that whites had committed against blacks. He fought for equality for all people, both men and women of all skin colors, beliefs, backgrounds. And as a gay man, I strongly compliment and thank black South African Desmond Tutu for championing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people. As a humble man, Desmond Tutu wanted no expensive, fancy casket. His plain, simple, small pine casket had rope handles. What an inspiring example for all of us. Desmond Tutu died December 26, 2021, age 90. I dedicate this program tonight to Desmond tutu. People all over the world who eat more healthy and live more simply, people not in the modern rat race, these people with lower stress average 2 or 3 shits a day. 2 or 3 shits a day. But people all over the world who eat lots of meat and dairy that have no fiber, people all over the world who do not exercise enough, who suffer more stress, who eat processed white flour and sugar crap, which have very little fiber, they average 3 shits a week. Meat and dairy, as I said, have no fiber for good shitting. Processed white flour and sugar crap, macaroni, bread, cake, fry bread, cookies, donuts have very little fiber. So in a lifetime of 80 years, the average modern living person in the rat race eating crap has over 60,000 less shits than those people who eat mostly plant foods, who suffer less stress, and who exercise more. Death begins in the colon. Death begins in the colon. Damn constipation, like a partly clogged toilet. And the time it takes for food to go from mouth to asshole should be no more than 36 to 48 hours max. Eat some red beets or green peas or sweet corn and check your shit. Are any peas coming out more than 48 hours after you ate them? People in the United States have the highest rate on earth of cancer and other disease of the colon and the rectum. Millions in the United States have 3 or 4 pounds, even 10 to 25 pounds of shit inside, especially if they have fat bellies. Constipation can cause headaches, digestion problems, backaches, immune problems, hormone problems, lack of energy, and finally, death. The living simply people who eat more fiber have 3 times as heavy shits as modern living people eating far less fiber. Who lives more wisely? Who are more healthy? My dad had a colostomy, a hole in his side made by surgery for him to shit. He had a blockage in his colon. Fortunately, he didn't have cancer, and they reconnected him after a year. My granny, my mother's mother, had a colostomy, a hole in her side made by surgery. She wore a bag for her shit for a year and a half until she died. Cancer of the liver, cancer of the colon, and all this can be prevented by eating only healthy, raw plant foods, less stress, more exercise. Why are many people in this society ashamed of the natural smells of their underarms, their crotch, their feet? In Greece and surrounding Balkan countries, folk dancers often carried handkerchiefs while dancing. And these handkerchiefs were kept in the male dancers' armpits while not in use. Male dancers handed them to other dancers as an invitation to dance. Natural underarm smell of healthy people can be a wonderful turn-on to people who are not ashamed of their own body's natural smells. A healthy body eating only healthy raw plant foods does not smell bad. In one group in New Guinea, a villager places his hand in the armpit of someone leaving the village and then sniffs it and rubs that smell on himself as a friendly parting gesture. But sadly, in this country and much of the Western world, the cologne, perfume, deodorant companies want our money. And so they have done their damnedest to convince us that we smell bad. Unhealthy people who eat crap, drink booze, work with chemicals, often will not smell good. So eat healthy, live healthy, all the time. Imagine you went to a town where everybody always wore cloth covering their ears, even in hot weather. You never saw anyone with bare ears in public. It was forbidden by law. You could get fined, thrown in jail, laughed at, cursed, beaten up, branded as a pervert if you showed your naked ears in public. Insane. Why are these people ashamed and afraid of seeing bare ears in public? Why are they so hung up about that part of their body? Why this weird taboo? But the same is true in this society about naked cocks, balls, vaginas, asses, female breasts. Why the crazy, sick hang-ups about these precious, pleasurable parts of our bodies? Why is it legal? Why is it legal to show rifles and shotguns and revolvers and missiles in public? But it is not legal to show naked cocks, balls, vaginas, asses, and female breasts in public. Our genitals are not obscene. Naked bodies making love are not obscene. War, racism, war tax, revenge, rape, greed, grudges, boxing, these are obscene. But because of the sexually uptight society we live in, I aim to be wise, to be totally naked, to make love where I do not risk getting arrested or freaking people out. I do not want to be beaten up for being naked or making love in public. In a private home, I'm glad to make love with certain men in the presence of any adult man or woman who treasures watching affectionate, passionate sex. And when my mother and father were alive, I was often naked as an adult in their presence. At home, I have photos my mother took of me naked as an adult many years ago. three common artificial sweeteners, aspartame, sucralose, saccharin, cause people to get fat. Never eat them if you do not want to get fat. These artificial sweeteners also cause high blood pressure, high blood sugar. They are even worse than the slow poison sugar. I eat nothing containing artificial sweeteners. I eat nothing containing added sugar. Would you put dirt in a car's gas tank and expect it to run well? Many adults get rich off poisoning kids' bodies, kids' minds. Many churchgoers are horrified when kids kill kids and old people. But many of these same churchgoers have no conscience against paying federal income tax to kill kids and old people in other nations. Many of these churchgoers have no conscience against encouraging their sons, their daughters, their grandchildren to become soldiers, killing kids and old people in other nations in U.S. wars. And many kids are damned as no good hoodlums for stealing cars, stealing computers, while politicians and corporation presidents are praised as fabulously successful for stealing billions of dollars in natural resources and dirt-cheap labor from other nations. Some kids commit atrocious crimes, and they need to change their ways, of course. But the number one responsibility for kids' crimes is on adults. Kids do not own the gun factories. Kids do not own the gun stores. Kids do not make, sell, and advertise booze. Kids do not manufacture the violent video games. Kids do not make the movies glamorizing war and rape and jealousy. Kids do not make the movies glamorizing guns and cigarettes and booze. Kids do not make the movies glamorizing revenge, robbery, money addiction. Kids do not import the heroin, the cocaine from abroad. Kids do not create the TV commercials pushing people to crave expensive crap none of us need, and to do anything to get that crap. No kid should be spanked. No kid should be cursed. No kid should be bruised. No kid should be beaten. No kid should be ignored. Kids do not run Hollywood. Kids do not run McDonald's. Kids do not run Coca-Cola. Kids do not run Philip Morris. Kids do not run Coors. Kids do not run the Pentagon. Kids do not run Wall Street. Kids do not run Congress. Kids do not run the CIA. Kids do not run Baskin Robbins. Kids do not run Sandia Weapons Lab. Kids do not run Exxon or General Motors or Walmart. Imagine if we adults refuse to work at any job that harms people and poisons the earth. Imagine if we devote ourselves every day to creating a world where it is easier for all of us to be good and to do the right thing. I want my mind, my heart always open to make wise changes in how I live. I do not want to get stuck in ruts. I do not want to keep doing something just because I've always done it that way for many years or because my family always did it that way. No, no, no. I've made many huge changes in my 76 years. And I want to stay ready to make more changes until the day I die. If I learn wiser, new ways, or old ways to live. Many people have taught me, many people have loved me, many people have inspired me. I'm deeply indebted to every one of them. I collect wisdom to live it and to share it with anybody interested. Some straight, some gay, some bisexual men and women are able to be openly and honestly in love with more than one person at the same time. And I am one of them. I am able to be openly and honestly in love with more than one man at the same time. We teach children to share toys, food, friends. How selfish, how cruel the child who demands that his child friend have no other friends or playmates. We adults can learn to share our lovers with others. We enjoy a variety of flowers, fruits, vegetables, colors, books, songs, and many of us also enjoy a variety of lovers. A loving parent can have a deep, special bond with each one of several children. Can someone be a faithful parent only if he or she has and loves just one child? I refuse to let any man cage me. I refuse to let any man fence me in romantically, so I have no right to cage him or fence him in. And every man I've been in love with has taught me, helping me become wiser and a better lover. All romantic relationships face hurdles, bumps, problems, conflicts. All romantic relationships. So why put all our eggs into one basket? Invest our hearts into more than one lover and do it honestly, openly, with all people involved. So if one lover backs out, moves away, dies, we may feel less desperate, less abandoned, less devastated, and more able to cope in our sad loss. I do not own any man, no matter how deeply I'm in love with him. Good romance is not slavery. I cannot make any man fall in love with me. I cannot make any man stay in love with me. I'm a damn fool if I try to force him. Hell no to cover-ups. Hell no to lies. Hell no to cheating. Hell no to double standards and insane jealousy. But yes to deep intimacy, deep friendship, sexual pleasure, shared generously with more than one person. About one half of men who have diabetes cannot get a good hard on. And the other half of men who have diabetes will eventually not be able to get a good hard on. If that were the only result of diabetes, why would any man who enjoys good sex with women, with men, or by himself alone risk getting diabetes? Diabetes also causes paralyzing strokes, amputated toes, feet, even legs. Diabetes causes blindness, kidney disease, with the hell of dialysis. 3 times a week, 4 hours each time, dialysis. And other causes of men not getting good hard-ons are depression, other illness, and over 200 pharmacy drugs can cause men not to get good hard-ons. Antidepressants, blood pressure medicines, chemotherapy drugs, pills to make you piss, diuretics, sedatives, stomach acid inhibitors, ulcer medications, and also big fat bellies, cooked and fried high-fat foods, especially meat. And of course, damn cigarettes and booze. All of these can cause men not to get good hard-ons. And I urge you, never take testosterone replacement therapy. It can cause liver damage, sleep problems, skin problems, blood clots, acne, man boobs, enlarged breasts on men, smaller testicles, non-cancerous growth of the prostate gland. And instead of testosterone replacement therapy, get lean. Lose that damn fat, especially the belly fat. Eat only healthy foods. And slowly, if possible, get off all prescription drugs unless absolutely necessary. Walk and exercise every day. Sunbathe, including your cock and your balls. Get enough sleep. Take these herbs, puncture vine, garlic, green tea, hot red chili pepper, black pepper, in cold weather, ginger root, maca root, ginkgo leaf, pumpkin seeds, flaxseed. All of these can help you naturally to get and keep good hard-ons. Stop all unhealthy sugar and other shit. And just as important or more so as taking these healthy herbs and foods is stopping all the unhealthy sugar and other shit. I eat many of these foods that I just listed every day in my homemade blended smoothies. I know of a man who lost 130 pounds by eating only raw plant foods. Mrs. Kunjama, a woman in India, was suffering from diabetes. She was overweight. She had occasional breathing troubles for about 12 years. She had to be often hospitalized whenever her temperature ran high every 2 or 3 months. Ayurvedic, homeopathic, other medicines did not help her. Her insulin injections for her diabetes helped some, but her sugar in her piss still was high. Mrs. Kunjama began drinking her piss every time she pissed. She also sipped water. Her nurse massaged her body with aged piss and helped her to wash herself with lukewarm water. And the first day, Mrs. Kunjama had some diarrhea. But after 3 weeks, she had lost weight. She had no breathing troubles. Her family doctor was surprised when he detected no sugar in the piss of this woman who had suffered with diabetes. I have drunk my piss for health every day since November 10th, 1999. I drink 1 cup every morning, usually every morning, but definitely every day as I exercise at home. To reach out for another is to risk involvement. To expose your feelings is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas, your dreams before a crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. But risks must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing does nothing. They may avoid suffering, they may avoid sorrow, but they cannot learn, they cannot feel, they cannot change, they cannot grow, they cannot love, they cannot live. Only a person who risks is free. To your health. My fresh piss. Good night.
Tell all you love that you love them so, because even if you do, they might not know, and one day we'll all be gone. Taste the wind, don't let it blow on by. Sing songs of love, let the music get you high, and when it's said and done, you'll know the sun will shine on. And when it's said